Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to decorate a cake as a little gingerbread man or gingerbread woman cake. So it's a fairly simple one, this one. Again, it's another one that I did during one of my Facebook lives, so I've sped it up a bit for the YouTube version. It's making me feel nice and festive doing these Christmassy ones, and I do enjoy these ones. So I've started with a pre-coloured board. I'm afraid my board is a little bit scuffed, so you guys can use a nice one. I've got some pink buttercream that I'm just sandwiching between a chocolate cake. It's a 6-inch chocolate cake that I've got. Guys, I coloured the buttercream with colour milk because it colours really well in the buttercream. But also I'm going to put links below the video to everything that I've used so you can find what I've used. So we've cut off the top kind of edge corner so that it becomes a bit more rounded. Now, if you've got a dome-shaped tin, you can just bake your cake in a dome-shaped tin. You don't have to try and round your cake off like what I have done. But I had one of these cakes ready made, so it was easier for me to just cut the edge off. We're going to cover the whole thing in buttercream. I'm just using a palette knife to put it around the edge, and then I'm using a flexible smoother to kind of bend the smoother a little bit and scrape up and over the edges. Now, if you've got time, give it 2 coats, put it in the fridge in between. Because this was a Facebook Live, I didn't have time, so it just got the 1 coat. And I'm using Teddy Bear Brown fondant. So this is the Renshaw's fondant. I've got 2 packets of it here, which is about 500 grams worth, and roll it out fairly thin. The thinner you can get it, the better it is, because you're not getting a lot of fondant on them, because I know that not everybody does like the taste of fondant. So I'm pulling it down over the edges and just rubbing it gently with my hands. So we get a nice dome shaped. Just pressing it in at the bottom edges, and then I'm going to cut off any extra from around the edge of the cake. And remember guys, if you want to watch it in real time, you can still see this in real time over on my Facebook page. So we've got kind of a semicircle shape in for the mouth, and then we're just pressing it inwards, dipping that part in so that we can fill that then with a bit of black. So it's just thinly rolled black fondant. If you prefer, you could just paint black food colouring inside the mouth. I thought fondant was a little bit easier to just place that in there. Just give it a little rub down. And we want a tiny oval of pink for the tongue, just at the bottom area of the mouth there. Now I'm just deciding whereabouts I want to put the eyes, because it looks quite different depending on how you space them. Now, I quite like them really far apart. I know that not everybody did when I did the Facebook Live. I think it looks cuter further apart, so I'm going to go far apart. I've made indentations where I want the eyes to go, and also I'm going to have one open and one closed. So let's do one eye in black fondant, and then the other one's going to be the same size oval but in the Teddy Bear Brown colour. And then taking some of my leftover black, I'm going to roll a long thin piece. It needs to have a point on both ends, and we're going to put it over the oval of Teddy Bear Brown. Let's put a little bit of pink on the cheeks. So this is edible food dust. Again, I'm going to put links to which colours I used below this video. You can see I was testing on a scrap bit as well to see what colours they'd turn out. So I'm going to neaten up my board a bit, but I'm not going to cover the whole board, and I've just got some white fondant here. This one's the Renshaw's Extra. Again, go with whichever one you like. I'm going to try and pull it around my cake, so stretching it just carefully. I don't want it to come all the way to the bottom because I actually want it to look like icing that's dripping down. So I'm going to draw a few kind of curved marks that look like dripping icing. Just using my Dresden tool first, and then I'm going to cut over those lines, making sure I go right through. Let's trim off anything that goes beyond the edge of the board. Do the same on the other side. If you want to cut the shape before you put it in place, you want to put the drip effect on first, you can do. I just found it easier this way. So I've added a piece for the body. I don't know if I accidentally cut that out of the video, but I literally just put a lump of the fondant that was left over for the body. So it is solid fondant, so you're probably not going to want to eat that for the body. And then whatever I had left, I divided into 2 and rolled 2 sausage shapes that we kind of squashed flat for the arms. I've kept the arms slightly thicker at the hand end, but it's up to you. I was going to say try and keep it thinner at the shoulder, but it really is up to you with what you like best. So this is the Teddy Bear Brown one. It might be that you want to use more fondant than me if you want a bigger body, bigger arms. It really is up to you. And what I'm going to do is play around with something for the buttons. So I was thinking these big sprinkles would actually go quite nicely there, but I've also got tiny sprinkles that I think I might like to use. So this is just some modelling paste. You can use fondant still, but I had modelling paste to hand. You can cover it in edible glue and then just drop it in some tiny little sprinkles. So tiny, tiny ones. I've just left them in the pot there for a minute while I work on the next one. Okay, so just make sure they stick and that it's covered. Ideally, you want to let these dry. Because it was a Facebook Live, I didn't get time to let them dry. They just had a couple of minutes while I was working on the candy cane. And I rolled some fuchsia colour, some pale pink and some white fondant for the candy cane. Now my pink, I'd left it out so it kind of went a bit dry. So remember guys, don't do what I do, leaving your paste out at the side. Put it in something airtight like a bag or a container so that it doesn't dry out. I'm rolling these 3 colours together now. You can see the pink one had kind of dried out. It ruined my cane really, it's all cracky. The deeper pink and the white was okay, just that pale pink. So I'm going to twist it now a bit more, and then I'm going to roll over it again a tiny bit with my smoother. And I've got way more than I need here, so I think maybe we'll make a candy cane and then we'll do like a little swirl to go in the middle of a bow. I think it's going to have a bow. You can see it's just a bit dry and cracking when I'm trying to roll like that. So that wouldn't have happened if I'd have put my pale pink paste in a bag and kept it airtight. Okay, for the purpose of this video, it will do though. I'm going to put a little indentation with my balling tool in where I want those little buttons to go. And you'll see I have only added 1 arm to my gingerbread man at the moment. So carefully pick up those and press them in place. These little buttons. Pop it in place in there. Ooh, some of them fell off. So if you'd given it time to dry, you'd probably find it's a bit easier at this point. I'm going to just use an extruder to get a nice thin piece of white. You can roll it by hand. I've got an extruder to hand here, so I might as well use it. It just means my piece of white fondant is going to be the same kind of thickness all the way up and down. And apologies guys, I forgot to take my watch off. I know in the Facebook Live a few people did comment that it was very unhygienic that I was wearing a watch. I just forgot to take it off. Also, it'll just be me eating this cake anyway. It's not going to anyone. So I put a bit of water on the head where I want to put this, and then we just stuck the white on. I'm going to do the same around the hand, so I want some on that hand, just waving it up and down a little bit. And let's add some sprinkles. So I've just got these happy sprinkles in. I think I like this one. I like the colours in this one, and it's got some quite large bright pink pearls that match with my colour scheme. It's got some little mini gingerbread men as well. They're going to look cute on the board. I'm just sticking it down with a tiny bit of water, or you can use edible glue, whichever you fancy. So it should dry and look slightly less shiny, the bits where the water are. And you can add as many or as few as you like. I've got some silver sprinkles as well. So these are all edible. They're not actually that hard candy. Like sometimes you get them that are solid sugar, the pearls, but these ones are chocolate in the middle, so they actually taste quite nice. So I'm putting the other hand on, the other arm. I've pressed in the middle so the candy cane doesn't bend. And then I've put the candy cane into the indentation that I've kind of made in that hand. Then we can put the white fondant on. So it's meant to look like a bit of piped icing around the gingerbread man's hand. Just play around with your positioning. That pearl is in the way. Then we're going to put on a bow. So I'm just rolling out a very rough circle. We're cutting it in half, and then we're putting 2 indentations in at the curved edge. And we're just going to place these together. Now you can make much fancier bows if you want. I wanted to keep it fairly nice and simple on this one. And let's put some water on the back. I need to press it fairly far onto the face. Like if it was really far on the side, because it's a dome shape, it would just slide down the side of the face. So that's why it's quite far over on the face, this bow. So there it is, all finished. Remember guys, if you want to see the real-time version, you can watch it over on my Facebook page. We do Facebook Lives every Tuesday morning at 10:30 AM UK time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out my other Christmas face cakes on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and more.